To our live. It's interesting. I always often, well, always often, I always start off our lives talking about how excited I am about the topic. But this time, for reals, like I'm as excited as I could possibly be about this topic that we're going to be talking about because at Lawyer.com, we're launching the Lawyer Growth Summit. Now, I've had the opportunity, as have you, Colleen and Gary, to be in the legal space for quite some time. And I've had the opportunity to speak on no less than 100 stages, hundreds of stages, and we've done hundreds of trainings collectively with the three of us. But this Lawyer Growth Summit, it's exciting for me to be able to meet with these like-minded attorneys that are focused on growth and scaling and really taking their firm to the next level. But what I want to talk about just for a few minutes here today is we really came down to 5 reasons why we're like, you know what? We have to do this growth summit. We have to do it. Not because we need to, not because it's like, oh, we don't have enough going on. No, we felt compelled that this is something we have to do to help the attorneys in our space. And we narrowed it down to 5 specific reasons why. And so we're going to quickly unpack those 5 reasons for us here today. And number 1, Gary, I'm going to have you unpack the first one, and that is optimize client intake. Reason number 1, optimizing client intake. Why did that make the list of 5?
Well, so I think it's pretty clear. Optimizing intake is absolutely crucial for any attorney who's looking to convert more inquiries into loyal clients, right? And I don't really know what to say about this, but I'm about to challenge myself. So on top of the 5 reasons for us doing that, there are 5 reasons to optimize client intake. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Increased conversion. I said that, right. So okay. So there's 1. Number 2, I would say improved client satisfaction, because I think a well-organized process creates a really strong first impression, right? And so it's imperative to set that tone. I also think that it's very important to be efficient with the use of time and resources, right? Because time is money, and we need to make sure that we're applying the resources appropriately. And then number 4, better data. I think the more organized you are, the more you can make sure that you're getting the information that you need, and that you're utilizing, and this is so important, especially now more so than ever, is that you're utilizing the technology to standardize and have systems and processes in place to help you collect all that. And then number 5 would be the enhanced professional image, because we're doing this in the right way. And this just demonstrates, I think, the organization's attention to detail. So those are my 5.
I love that. And you know what? And we'll dive in deeper. Now, by the way, the Lawyer Growth Summit's going to be in Las Vegas at Colleen, where?
The Fontainebleau.
It is an amazing resort. I haven't been there myself, but Colleen assures me there's no better place in Vegas.
You got it.
And so we'll dig deeper into exactly what you're talking about there, Gary. But optimizing that client intake experience, what every attorney needs to understand is that forgives a multitude of sins. Because if you can start off on that solid foundation, it just is game changing for the rest of the experience that they have. And so then let's quickly go to number 2. Okay, number 2, Gary, boosting your sales techniques.
Yeah.
Okay, so optimizing intake, number 1. 2, boosting your sales techniques. Because, we say this to attorneys all the time. How many of you love sales and marketing so much that you decided to become an attorney, right? And no one does. So boosting your sales technique. Unpack that for us real quick, Gary.
So, I think that I'm glad that you had me address those 2, because I think that intake and sales are synonymous, right? So I think boosting sales techniques can significantly enhance an attorney's ability to attract and retain their ideal client. And I think in so doing, when it's done properly, it also creates a higher client satisfaction as well. So I think that increased client acquisition, enhanced retention. I think it also demonstrates an improvement in communication skills, resulting in more revenue. And I'm going for a fifth here. I didn't call myself out though. I wasn't sure I'd be able to do it. And then build a stronger professional brand.
Great.
I think are all solid reasons why boosting sales abilities is vital to any growth-oriented law firm.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the third reason why we're like, we have to do this Lawyer Growth Summit. And that is just giving you the skills and strategies to enhance that client journey from that moment they come in to the moment they leave being raving fans. Because number three, in that client journey, we talk about this quote that in every interaction, we either increase or decrease trust. Mm-hmm. And so we need to make sure that client journey is happening. Now, the attorneys listening to this are like, yeah, we get this. Well, in Las Vegas, we're going to show you exactly the roadmap to where you're like, oh, that makes sense. This is something I can do. Because we sometimes get overwhelmed with, okay, I've got to fix intake. I got to make sure my sales are there. I've got to have a good client journey. But how do I do that? And we'll show you exactly how to do that in Vegas. But number four, okay, this is the fourth reason why we had to do this, is really helping law firms leverage AI and automation. And Colleen, I'm gonna turn to you for that. Leveraging AI and automation. I mean, attorneys have heard of it, they know of it, but leveraging is key.
Sure. So as we kind of talk about the future of law and where we see law evolving in this kind of fourth industrial revolution, a huge part of that is AI and automation. AI and automation have been around for quite some time. Automation has been around for a very long time, but it's using automation and marrying it with AI. Now, what we're going to do is really give examples and not just talk, right? How are you going to be using this to write contracts, to create demand letters, to do research? There are so many tools out there for AI automation, for automation. And what we want to do is show you how you're going to use these resources to help advance and help you get to that future of law, because everybody's going to be using it, right? We talk about kind of like the self-driving cars. Everyone joked about it 5-10 years ago. Well, we have people in the office that drive them. They don't drive to work. The car drives them. So right. This is happening faster than we may be ready for it. So what we could do is be prepared and start using different tools now so that we're comfortable when everybody's driving themselves.
Well, and what's exciting for me, Colleen, is I've seen you do countless number of AI presentations. Yep. And what's fun is attorneys will sometimes come into that presentation a little apprehensive, and then they leave excited and optimistic about what it means to them. Because in reality, when they understand AI as you unpack it, it becomes exciting, and they begin to see how they can leverage it.
I think last January, we really went all AI, and there was many sleepless nights thinking, I have no idea what's happening. How do I comprehend this? But again, it's taking it into small bite-sized bits and saying, okay, let's apply this. And then at the end of the day, you're like, wow, actually, we are using AI first. And that's very exciting. And that's really what we want law firms to use to grow into the future.
Oh, that's, and so you talk about these foundational principles that, Gary, you're talking about intake, sales, client journey, and then AI and automation. But really the fuel to make it all work is the fifth one.
Yep.
We've seen this over and over and over again. Law firms struggle because of this. And Colleen, it's mastering financial management.
Yep. It's so important to understand not only your future goals on how you want to grow your firm, but to understand where you're currently at right now. Because we have a famous saying around here, what you measure grows, which is fantastic. And it's very true. If you focus on your books, you're going to improve them. So if you set a goal that says, hey, listen, I want to grow revenue by 10%, right? You want to be realistic, or I want to increase profitability. You have to sit down and say, okay, what areas do I need to put more effort into, or where can I scale back? And that really needs to be a monthly discussion to see, am I on track for my roadmap? And the worst thing that you can do is ignore it. And sometimes, myself included, when something's scary and unknown, I'm just like, I have the blinders up. And that is the most dangerous thing that you can do as a law firm, is not understand where your financial footing is.
It is, and it's frightening. We had one of the clients in our coaching community tell Gary and I that they were doing extremely well financially, and then Gary and I sent him off with an assessment, and he came back and he was on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize it because he had just assumed too many things. And he was doing very, very, very well, or in his eyes, he thought he was doing very, very well, staying very busy, having multiple attorneys work for him, and it appeared like things were going very well. So I love that you bring that up. Okay, so the keynote, or excuse me, the tagline for this Lawyer Growth Summit, and I love this, Colleen, you referenced it earlier, but the Lawyer Growth Summit, in essence, is what you just shared, Colleen, is what? What are we going to be doing those few days in Las Vegas?
We're going to be stepping into the future of law.
I love that. I'm excited to be there with all of you and with countless other attorneys that will be there that are driven to want to grow their firm. So people ask us, they'll say, Chad, what's the ideal size of a firm that should come to the Lawyer Growth Summit? And I say, you know what? Size is not as important as mindset. Because what we have seen, what the three of us have seen, is we've seen law firms that have the right mindset go from very small. And we had an individual at one of our previous events where he went from struggling in one office of a building to owning the building.
In 1 year.
Yeah.
And it's crazy the type of success that you can have. So anyway, excited to see you all there. This is an event, not that we felt like it would be fun to have, we felt compelled to do it. We'll have a lot of fun in the process as well. Because if you know Colleen, the president of Lawyer.com, there is no event that's not packed full of content and packed full of fun. So
you nailed it.
Both again. Have an awesome day.
Thanks, guys.